Let me know when you're ready. Okay. All right, so for the door inspection, we're going to start with the hinges. We want to make sure the hinges are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. And we're going to check our door seal to make sure that it's securely mounted, it's not ripped, torn, or frayed. It does show a little damage here. If you see any damage on the truck, just mention it. They'll report it to maintenance. Okay, then we're going to come out here to the handle, securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. And then we also want to open and close the door to make sure that it latches properly and unlatches properly. Check our mirror hangers. Mirror hangers are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. That's it for the door. Now I'm going to come down to the tank area.
And we'll say we'll do the same thing on the other side, or do we have to do it again once when we walk around?
No, we just do one side.
Okay.
Talk about one door. Same thing with the tank area. Okay, so for the tank area, we're going to start with the steps. They are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. Our tank itself is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, broken, or leaking. Also, our tank straps are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. And then on your test, go ahead and open up the cap. Want to make sure that the safety chain and the cap seal is present. It's not damaged. It's not cracked, and it seals properly. And that's the tank area. Now I'm going to come back to what I call group 1 behind the cab. Now, for that, I'm going to start with the exhaust hangers. The exhaust hangers are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. The exhaust itself is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. And then you want to point to the weld connections to make sure there's no signs of soot around it, which would indicate a leak. Next, I'm going to work on down. I'm going to talk about a cross member. You just have to mention one. And it's securely fastened on each end. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the frame again. No illegal welds, no excessive holes. It's not cracked, damaged, or broken. Then I'm going to go to my catwalk. Make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. Does have a little dent damage in the corner over there, but not a safety issue. Then the last item in group 1 that I'm going to talk about is the, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Talk about the drive line and the U-joints. I want to make sure that they're securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And also, too, we want to make sure that the shaft is not twisted and there's also no debris wrapped around the drivetrain.
Because it happens.
Yep. And that's it for group 1. Next, I'm going to come out to the what I call the glad hand group. So you tell the examiner I would remove the glad hands. You don't have to do it on your test. I would remove the glad hands to check the seals inside to make sure that they're not cracked, damaged, or broken and they seal properly. But my airline hoses securely fastened on each end with no abrasions, bumps, cuts, or leaks. Then I tell them I would, you don't have to do it, I would pull the power cord plug and check that the pins inside are not missing or broken and there's no debris in there that would prevent a good connection. Next, I'm going to come out to my cord itself and look for any bare wire showing or any illegal tape. And we want to make sure that the whole assembly has good clearance from the catwalk. And that's it for the glad hand area. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about the exterior of the trailer. And I'm going to start with the bulkhead. I want to make sure that there's no signs of protrusion, like loose freight would knock against the wall and cause a protrusion. No holes or damage or missing rivets. I do see a couple of little missing rivets, but it's not a safety issue. Same thing down the side. No protrusions, no holes or damage or missing rivets. I can see some missing rivets here, but not a safety issue at this point. Then I'm going to talk about my DOT tape is present. It's properly spaced and the proper color red and white. And then I'm going to talk about my clearance light up top. Securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. It's the proper color amber. Next, I'm going to go to what I call the fifth wheel group. Now, I'm going to start with underneath the trailer apron. That's this plate underneath the front. And it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. Next, I'm going to talk about the fifth wheel top plate, securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken. And at this point, I also want to mention that the fifth wheel is properly greased, and I don't see any daylight between the apron and the top plate. Then I'm going to go to my pull handle, my release handle, whatever you want to call it. Securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken, and I want to make sure it's in the locked position. Then I'm going to talk about the platform. Now this platform on this truck is a fixed platform. It's not a sliding platform. I want to make sure that all the hardware is in place. It's securely mounted. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. Now in your test, they don't want you to crawl underneath it, but just say I would crawl underneath and check my kingpin that it's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And also too that the locking jaws are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and they are in their locked position. And I want to make sure that the kingpin and the locking jaws are got a good amount of grease on them. Underneath there is your torque bar. You want to say that the torque bar is securely mounted on each end, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And that's it for the fifth wheel group. Next, I'm going to go to my suspension. And I'm going to talk about my leaf spring hanger. Actually, it's a trailing arm. The trailing hanger is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And the trailing arm is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, scissored, or separated. Then I have my U-bolts. I want to make sure that they're on tight. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged. And then I also want to talk about my shock mounts, upper and lower, that they're securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. The shock itself is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it's not leaking any oil. That's going to take me to my airbags. I want to talk about the upper and lower mounting plates, that they're securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And the airbag itself is securely mounted with no abrasions, bumps, cuts, or leaks. That's it for the suspension. Now we're going to talk about, we're going to go through a brake inspection again, starting with the hoses. Securely fastened on each end with no abrasions, bumps, cuts, or leaks. The brake chamber and the ring clamp is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking. And then our push rod, make sure all the hardware is in place. It's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. That's going to take us to our slack adjuster, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Then I would chock my wheels, release my parking brake, come and pull the slack adjuster to make sure that it has no more than 1 inch of pull. It's going to take me to the brake shoes. They're required to have a minimum of a 1/4 inch of pad, and I don't want to see any signs of cracking or bluing, which would indicate overheating, and that there's no grease or oil on them. Also on the brake drum, no cracking or bluing, and no grease or oil on them either. That's going to take me to the rims on this truck. And the rims, I'll be checking both sides of both tires. Make sure that there's no illegal welds. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged. All my beads are properly beaded and not leaking. All my side walls, no abrasions, bumps, cuts, or leaks. Then I'm going to talk about the tread side of the tire. No uneven wear, no big chunks of rubber missing, or any objects like screws or nails that could puncture the tire. Drive tires are only required to have a minimum of 2 30-seconds of tread. Now, since these are dual tires, I want to talk about in between.
Dud spacing.
And I want to make sure that in between my rims are tight together with no daylight showing between them, and that there's no debris in between the tires, and that there's also proper spacing between the rubber. And then I'm going to come out to my lug nuts again. I would remove the lug nut covers to look for rust streaks or shiny metal, which would indicate that they're loose, or any cracking on the lug nuts or rims that they've been over tightened. Then I would remove my hub cover to look for any leaks in the hub seal. And then I would also check my valve stem, make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, broken, or leaking, and then test the tire pressure with a DOT approved tire gauge, that it's up to manufacturer's specs. That's going to take me to my mud flaps and my mud flap hangers. My mud flap hangers are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And on the back of the tractor, I do have to have reflective tape on the mud flaps. And then that is present. And then the mud flap itself is securely mounted, not ripped or torn, and it's got good clearance from the ground. Then I'm going to go to my tail lights. I want to make sure they're securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, in the proper color red. Those perform 4 functions: brake lights, turn signals, hazard lights, and running lights. And I also want to check my reverse light, securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or broken, in the proper color white. And I also have 2 red reflectors mounted on the cross member, that they are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Now we're ready to start moving back on the trailer. So we're going to start with the cross members underneath the trailer. I want to make sure that they're securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Then I'm going to come back to my landing gear. For my landing gear, I want to say it's properly spaced behind the tractor, and it's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. The feet are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. The handle is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and in its stowed position. And I would also tell the examiner that I would crank the landing gear up and down to make sure that it works good. Now we're ready to move back down here, and we're going to talk about our side light over here. Securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's the proper color amber. You know, it performs 4 functions: turn signal, running light, hazard light, and reflector. Now I'm going to move down here to the back of the trailer. This trailer is equipped with sliding tandems. So I'm going to check my handle, make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it's in its locked position. I'm also going to check my locking pins, that they are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and they are in their locked position. Then I would talk about the suspension, which is the same as up there, and just for time purposes, you got to repeat it all on your inspection. Same thing with the brakes and the tires and rims, same thing. Now this does have a sight gauge on it, so you can check your fluid level. I mean a sight glass. It's kind of dingy. But anyway, and then I would do the same on this axle. Then we do the mud flap inspection, mud flap hanger. But then you get back here, you'd say this trailer is older than 97, so it's not equipped with ABS. Otherwise, there would be an amber ABS light here. Also, our side marker light is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's proper color red. Then we're going to come to the back doors, do our back door inspection. Start with the hinges. All the hardware is in place, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged.
Finally,
Also,
finally got the doors replaced.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then we're going to check our door latches, make sure that they're securely mounted. All the hardware is in place, not cracked, broken, or damaged. And then I would open and close the doors to make sure that they open and close properly. And I would make sure that I latch them both top and bottom. And then we also want to check our door seal while we're doing that. Make sure it's got a good door seal, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Tail lights again, same drill. You know, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, proper color red, 4 functions: brake lights, turn signals, running lights, hazard lights. Also our marker lights, securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, broken, proper color red. License plate is securely mounted, clean and legible and up to date. We want to inspect our light, that it's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's the proper color white. DOT bumper is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's outside of a little dent damage, not a safety issue, and it does have the DOT reflective tape on it. Then we're going to come around here. We'd talk about this side light again. Not that one, but that one. And it's the same drill as the other one, securely mounted at that. And then you would say at this point, I'll have you stand back here while I go in the cab and activate the brake lights and make sure that they work on the back of the trailer and also on the back of the tractor. I would have to put it in reverse to check the reverse light works, and then have you go around front to check that the brake lights and turn signals work on the front as well. Okay. And that completes my pre-trip inspection. Okay.